God took you back from the person you were sent to as a gift. A lot of good people who represent God because they have the light of God are sent into the life of certain individuals who lack the light of God. So individuals who are stuck in darkness, who are filled with darkness. And after I made a video about this, somebody asked this question: what is in this for the good people who go into relationship and love genuinely, but in return are betrayed and abused? They lose it all in relationship. What do they get back in return? If God is using their kindness, their goodness, their genuine self to do something for his glory. And this is what we all need to understand. You see, when you're sent in the life of another person to show unconditional love, to show genuine love, you are on assignment. A lot of people do not understand the assignment on this earth, our life journey and our life purpose, because we don't have spiritual leaders who help us to understand spirituality, to know how this journey of life is all about. So individuals who are brought into the life of these people are on assignment. You are on assignment, and your assignment is to do what you did in the life of that person. So this is what happens. Whenever you go on assignment and you play your part in that assignment, what happens is you've done your part of the deal, so you need to be rewarded. So when you're sent into the life of this person, whether they were able to accept you and finish the contract with you, or they rejected and betrayed you, because you played your part, the heavens, God sees you playing your part. And so your sign of the contract you wrote with God, that when I come on earth, I'm going to do this and this. You have done your part of the deal. You have sacrificed your time, your energy, a lot from you in that assignment. And we know the rule, the spiritual rule is to get something on earth, you need to sacrifice. So all those times you were wasting, being through abuse, being through betrayal, you were sacrificing. And that sacrifice gets something in return. That's a reward. But the problem here is that most people get stuck in a phase after being betrayed, after doing their part of the job. Now, because of the pains they went through with that person, they don't understand that I'm on an assignment. And let's say you're playing a game. You're on the first level. You do all you can to pass the first level. You move to the next level. But one thing is, you have to master the things that you encountered during your first level game, so that when you get to the second phase, it will become more easier for you, because now the few tricks you've learned in your first level. And that's how this journey is. One thing people miss out on this journey is that even though they play their part, they forget that they are not just playing the part. They are supposed to learn a lesson. And so what lesson did you learn when you went into a relationship with your abuser, with your avoidant, with your narcissist? What did you learn? Because God is going to use the lesson you learned with that person, even though you're a good person, to move you into a next stage. So this is how it looks like when you're stepping into your next phase or your next assignment, which a lot of people don't know they are on an assignment, so they miss out and they get stuck in a phase. So it can be like Somebody treated you so bad, and God took you out of that person's life. You have done your part of the job, and now you are hurt. You are frustrated, but God can bring the same person back into your life just to see that all the things this person did to you, were you capable of learning something? Because what we do not know is that we are a catalyst to their growth, and they are a catalyst to our growth. So the treatment they gave to you is going to help you to grow in life, to understand that not everybody on earth think like I do, love like I do, understand life as I do. And so if I want to love people the right way, I need to also come from a place where I can protect myself from certain things. So those are lessons you learn. And so when the person is brought back into your life, that is when most people repeat the cycle. They are repeating the cycle not because they are not a good person. They are repeating the cycle because the lesson have not been learned. So they will do the same thing they did with the person. Or God will bring another person who is going to act equally the same way as the old person. And it's not because you did not do well in your previous relationship, you were not a good person. God does not appreciate your actions, but it's because most people are battling with generational curses. Maybe we don't get to learn this, to understand this. You realize that if you look at your bloodline, maybe your sisters, you realize that if you're a girl, your sisters, the ones that are settled with men who do not show them genuine life because they settle. They also went through your experience and settle with that person. That person is treating them however they want. And so God is using you to break that generational curse, because the end goal is to not settle for love. The end goal is to meet somebody who is on your level, who is equally yoked, who is on the same timeline as you. And so that person see love the same way you see it. That means you did not settle. You met your through march. And that will not bring the abuse a lot of people are experiencing in relationship. And so most people get stuck after they play their first part. And now they repeat the cycle because they don't know what is next and what they're supposed to do. But what you're meant to do is to learn the lesson, use the lesson in another relationship or in another section of your assignment. And two, most people tend to allow the pains to consume them. Even though they are good people, now they tell themselves that I don't believe in love. I will not even search for love. I will not even fall for anybody again. And now they start becoming like the person they met earlier. And what we don't know is that person was not at first like that. They went through experience and the pains turned them to be that way. That's why God sent you to them to tell them that you've met a bad person in your life before, bad people before, but I'm showing you now that they are good people and they took advantage of you. And if you don't take care, you're also going to be like that. Why now you start also doing things thinking that you're going to protect yourself or you're protecting yourself. I'm going to make the next video for further explanation because this is a broad thing, right? And so follow me into the next video so you understand what this is about. Most people are coming across these videos because God is trying to move his children from the phase that they are stuck. He wants them to experience their final blessings. Most of you, your blessings are attached to your relationship, your connections, and your marriages. And that's why life is so unbearable, because you've not been able to move in the love sector. You've not gotten to your final destination. So if you want to know more, follow me, and maybe God can use me to help you get to where you're supposed to be.